time, I thought about reading something. A book that I had never really read for myself. But of course, so many other people have. Inspired movies, even. Some of the best. We can do a spooky one later. But for now, I'd like to just read a little bit of The Lord of the Rings. We'll go ahead and start with the prologue. This book is largely concerned with hobbits, and from its pages, a reader may discover much of their character and a little of their history. Further information will also be found in the selection from the Red Book of Westmarch that has already been published under the title of The Hobbit. That story was derived from the earlier chapters of the Red Book, composed by Bilbo himself, the first hobbit to become famous in the world at large, and called by him there and back again, since they told of his journey into the East and his return. An adventure which later involved all the hobbits in the great events of that age that are here related. Many, however, may wish to know about this remarkable people from the outset, while some may not possess the earlier book. For such readers, a few notes on the more important points are here collected from Hobbit lore. The first adventure is briefly recalled. Well, that's the first two paragraphs anyways of the prologue. That'll be a fun read. I mean, let's face it, there's nothing better than just getting home, getting something nice and warm to drink, getting into that comfy spot, popping open a good book, just to go read and enjoy. Maybe with a nice fuzzy friend at your feet, or in your lap. I love animals. Just throwing that out there. All manner of fuzzy creatures. Dogs, cats, capybaras, and more. So much more. Our world is such a weird and cool place. All these weird and... I keep saying weird. But it's strange and fun and cool and interesting. I remember many, many years back, I shook hands with a monkey. We had traveled to an entirely different country, and while we were there, we stopped by a zoo. Of course, it wasn't like any big, well-maintained zoos, but, you know, sometimes chain-link fences can manage to do all sorts of crazy things, like keep giant alligators at bay, unless you got them too angry. Some people found that out the hard way, actually. But as we traveled around and saw all sorts of neat animals that weren't normally there, we noticed that there was a little monkey that just would stick its arm through the bars and would shake your hand before reeling it back in. So of course, I had to try it. Down the stairs I went, and in front of the monkey I stood. He reached It was a strange little moment. But something that I'll keep with me for the rest of my life. All sorts of other weird things happen too. Accidentally chopping down a tree, sneaking out of certain places, getting trapped in an elevator. That wasn't fun. All the different countries I've been to, just traveling around. All the different foods. It's an incredible place. And I haven't even left, like, this hemisphere yet. I've been up to the north a bit. I've been to the center a bit. But maybe someday we can travel. We can journey across the lands and the seas and discover so many different cultures and peoples. All sorts of weird and wacky adventures. Honestly, I can't wait. And that's not even getting into the strange adventures we have online every day. I don't think there's a wilder world out there. It's so easy to become kinda brain rotted as you're just traveling the internet all the time, but at the same time, it's so interesting and cool. Everything that people make, everything that people do. The music, the art. I don't know why, I just feel like appreciating everything right now. I don't know. I'm grateful for a lot of things. But it's also not November yet, so maybe I should hold off. Especially since we're still in October, which does mean it is spooky month. We love spooky month. So many weird and crazy things, too much. People are weird, people are scary. But so are all the things that go bump in the night. Okay. Oh yeah, that should be much nicer. Sorry about that. Sorry for blowing your ears out. And now we'll just relax a little bit. Oh man. I remember a few years back. It was Halloween Day, and I had plans to go out and spend time with friends. As you do, it is Halloween after all. But my parent had decided to start their trip to a different state then. They gave me the keys, told me to lock everything up, just to be safe, as this was one of the first times being left alone. And I said everything will be fine. Nothing is going to go wrong. So there she left. And next thing you know, I go out the front door to get ready to walk over to my friend's place. I turn my key inside the house, I had locked all the windows except one. It was a Hail Mary, 'cause I sure didn't want to break a window. Hard to replace those things. But after trying several things, I was able to find a large screen door that we just didn't lock for whatever reason, and then slowly pushing it from right all the way down to the left, I was able to climb back inside. I didn't go out that night. My only key snapped inside of the doorknob. How could I leave? We eventually fixed that problem, of course. But, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't carried around a house key since then. I was always so worried of it snapping off again and just being stuck. I would much rather just use a garage or opener. We have a code. You can just input it in. Come on inside. If the other door inside is locked, well, at least you're in the shade. You might have a car for company. But that isn't actually a spooky story, though. Oh no. A few years back, there was a guy, and it turns out he used to work at a weird place, a haunted museum. And he told me that while he was there, he encountered so many strange and mysterious things. From magic mirrors to haunted, cursed dolls to strange things that go bump in the night, all located inside of this building. He, of course, had so many stories to tell. I think one of the worst involves one of the dolls. This doll caused so many problems, but apparently in the beginning, they just had her on display. But as time went on, they put a spirit box in her room so you could communicate with this doll. People would go in droves to try to speak to this demonically possessed thing. But all this time, it always depended on the group you were with, according to the guy. Some people would go in and get nothing from the box, only that white noise static. But whenever he was around, that spirit box would flare to life. So many words, so many things being said, even when he was just outside the room. But one day, he found out that that doll liked him. It was apparently the last tour of the night. He was so excited as he was going to get to go home first before everybody else, as he was in the first section of the building. He greeted that first group, a couple, a man and a woman celebrating the woman's birthday. And onwards they went through their tour. They were so excited, hanging on his every word, enjoying their time there, and being very, very brave. was time for them to say goodbye. As he called out for the next tour guide, nobody came. All he got was a call on the radio saying, "Hey, keep that group through the rest of the building. Until you finish that tour, everyone else is going to go home first." His heart sank. But he was enjoying their company, so he kept going through the building until eventually they made it to the doll. He told them about the doll's history. He warned them about the rules, about needing to say hello, to be respectful, and to say goodbye when you leave. But of course, they were brave. So in the doors they went, face to face with the doll. The tour guide gave them the floor, as the woman then asked, "Hey, how old are you?" And to their shock and surprise, they got a number. However, they froze, completely shocked by what they had just gotten, by this intelligent response. So the tour guide waited and waited and waited until he thought, "All right, taking too long, here we go. Hey, Peggy, what's your favorite color?" "Blue," said the box. "Is there anything you want to tell this group before we go?" He was about to wrap it up when the woman then interjected in and asked, "Hey, do you like the tour guide in this room?" The immediate response was a deep, dark yes. What does that even mean? When a demon says they like you? Like a haunted doll? Like, are you good? Are you damned? I wish I never heard that story. Dolls are scary. So creepy. I don't even want to know how his shoes were. And then he told me that even though he was worried, apparently there were other people that the doll said she hated. So like, which is better? Being liked or being hated by this strange possessed object? Food for thought, I guess. Alright. I need to check something really quickly, so be right back. And I'm back. You know, something that I've been really obsessed with lately is a little game called web fishing. Oh, it's stolen my heart away. Just chill vibes, cute critters, hanging out with friends. It's such a vibe, it's so good. It's the Animal Crossing on PC that I think we all wanted or needed. But then the other day, I found out there's a weird, darker side to it, I guess you could say, or, well, it is an online chat room. And you know how people get. You ever just enjoy something so much before you realize how tainted it is. It's like joining a fandom. You enjoy the original thing so much, and then you're like, oh, the people around me are kind of freaks. And from there, you come to a crossroad, deciding which path you will join. It's so funny. I'm glad I've never really involved myself in any sort of fandom before. I've definitely avoided quite a bit as I've watched drama unfold and all the weird things. I would much rather just stay drama-free, I'll be honest. Interesting to watch and talk about, I guess, but be involved in no. Be the cause of no. Absolutely not. I want to go to a convention again. Honestly, traveling around, going out, and going to a place like that fills me with so much good energy. It's such a good time. I love going there, seeing everyone, cosplaying, making jokes and memes, recording, making memories, sharing in the laughter. I've only ever had good times at a con. I know bad things can happen, but I've been so lucky and blessed that nothing like that's ever happened to me. It's funny, this last con experience I had, I was by myself. I was supposed to meet some coworkers there, but I never saw them. They were there, they had fun, but we just never met up because the phone signal was really bad in the building, but other than that, good time. I love going down to the artist alley. I love seeing the markets that are open, people hugging their wares, so much fun, cool and nerdy stuff. I think one of my favorite stores had these little pet outfits where you could dress up your dog or cat as an evolution or Pochita from Chainsaw Man. And they had different sizes too. So I imagine my little chihuahua going around in a Pochita outfit. That would be too cute. I'd like it a lot, honestly. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. But yeah, that first day after exploring around, I was getting kind of tired, honestly. And so I decided I would just let my legs take me to wherever I needed to be. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what panels were happening, what sort of things were happening in the different rooms. My phone didn't work in there. I had no book to read. I only found that day 3. But I let my legs carry me away, and suddenly I found myself in front of a voice acting competition panel. I've always wanted to be a voice actor. I've always wanted to entertain that way. And so finding that there, destiny was calling. I knew what I had to do. And do I did. I waited there for a while to make it on in. I made friends in line. And eventually, we make it on in. As we wait to try one by one to see if we would get a role to play in the competition. until finally it was my turn. I go on up there and introduce myself, and they give me a line. I give it my best shot. Immediately, they were interested in what they were hearing. But of course, you have to hear more. So I got a different line. I gave it one pass through. And then they told me to hand back the script. I was so worried. I thought I messed up. I'm like, oh, was that bad? I already? Really? They told me that they needed to see me the next day. And to come back first thing in the morning, I would be sped in. That I would get first dibs on trying out. Well, cool, alright. Time to head back down into the marketplace where I bought myself a cool poncho. Came back the next day. Excited, of course. I wanted a part. I wanted to try. Unfortunately, when I got there, I tried with a few different lines, but I was then turned away. And the reason they gave me always stuck out to me, because it was I was too versatile. So many roles I could fit in, they couldn't pick just one. So they just said, alright, I have nothing for you, I'm sorry. Here's a button. Maybe during the competition, you might get randomly selected to do a bit part. I was crushed. But of course, rejection's part of the gig. So I knew I had to be sad for a while, but that ultimately this would be good. I spent the rest of the day learning more about the process itself, but ultimately I was so dejected. The third day arrived of the con, and honestly I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go. I was so crushed. But you know, I paid for the ticket. I might as well go, right? As I go around, I discovered a few shows in the Crunchyroll panel that were really interesting. And then one of them made me cry. Not ideal. While you're at a public place, but you know, whatever. Buck up. Try again later. But there I wandered until my phone started to work. Last day, who knew? And I saw there was a panel called Voice Acting Year 1, specifically for getting started. And right when it ended would be time for the competition. Well, if things were gonna work out that way, then sure, why not? I went to the panel, and it was the most informative thing I had ever been to. I learned so much. I felt so inspired, so ready, so motivated. Let's go to the competition. Let's give it a shot. It's a random chance, but I've been lucky before. I sit down towards the front this part a few rows behind, because that's where the main performers were. I meet up with my friend who did get selected, and a few of the other people that had heard me before. They were so excited to be there and excited to see me. And so, group by group, people were called up. Until eventually, there was a time to be selected that someone from the audience with a blue ticket would be able to go on up on stage and perform a single line. I stand on up, and I notice that everyone around me is pointing at me to be picked. Even the people that were in the competition themselves are pointing at me, saying, "Pick me, pick him, pick him." For that first one, I wasn't picked, which I think was fine, but, you know. A few more scenes go on by. A group goes on up. They're doing a scene. And then, once again, the casting director says, "Alright, we're going to select somebody. If you have a blue ticket, stand on up." So I stand up again. Even more people are pointing at me this time. And the main reason why I got picked was because the other person on stage who was being the MC, they saw my poncho. They thought it was cool. And they said, "Oh yeah, let's pick him." I go up to the microphone. I've already learned the etiquette. And I receive my one line. More specifically, one word. Everyone goes silent. Beep, beep, beep. Time to say the line. I give it my best shot, giving the director exactly what they asked for. A tired, hurt, but determined fire. Once it was captured, the whole crowd was abuzz. Everyone was going crazy over it. And then watching them dub that scene live, my voice put into that, joining everyone else's, was amazing. I fell in love even more with what I want to do, with voice acting. Yeah. Definitely something that I want to do for the rest of my life. And so here we are, practicing, while also, bringing some, hopefully, enjoyment. Hopefully, something good. I've never really done ASMR before. It scared me, honestly, all these years when it was first picking up steam. I always had people pushing me towards it. So many people always saying, "Hey, your voice, it's so soothing and relaxing. You should do ASMR. Have you ever thought of ASMR?" ASMR, I would fall asleep to you all the time. I got those so frequently. So now, here we are. I just hope that it's good enough. I always worry about that in everything I do, if something's gonna be good enough. But one of the important things that I've learned, of course, is that sometimes you have to ignore that thought and just go for it. So many times I've paralyzed myself just with the idea of doing something perfectly. And it took some time, but I've learned to embrace the scuff. It's not a real stream if something isn't scuffed. Hell, you can go back to the start of this VOD, and you're gonna notice a massive difference in audio. It's all a learning process. We're always learning. We're always growing. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up and to fail. Just make sure that we get back up. Because that's the important thing, right? Is to try and try and try again. Wise words. Shame I said them. Man, and tomorrow's Friday. I'm always so excited for Fridays. There was a point in time where dates really didn't mean much to me at all. I didn't have a job, wasn't going to school, was doing nothing of the sort. The days melded into one just giant continuous glob. I had no sense of time. Dates meant nothing. Just one continuous string. A continuous string of day after day after day. It does make me glad that I do have some form of occupation right now. Because at least with that, it keeps me grounded and keeps me centered. It helps out so much. It also helps that I started using calendars and stuff on my phone. You know, just that extra little step. I don't think I have anything planned. I wanted to go ghost hunting this month with the boys, my best friends, but we never really talked about it, didn't really. Oh, those are fun emotes. Oh, I love the September emote. Ba 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 ba. We love a good popcat. Hello there, Carmen. I hope you're having a good night. The train of thought has left the station. I don't remember what I was saying anymore. Just yapping. It's fun to do. Every now and then. Just enjoying my time. Speaking of enjoying time, man, video games. I should find a good visual novel to do someday. Maybe I could even stream it, who knows? Hard to say. There's so much that I feel like I want to do with this channel. Like, yeah, I'm doing ASMR today, but what about the next day? What about the one after that? We could just keep doing ASMR. We'll see what gains traction. I just want to be able to do things that people enjoy. Man, it's been getting colder lately. But honestly, I don't think it's gotten cold enough. I'm burning up. Like, sure, in the morning, it's so cold. I definitely need to wear a sweater. But then the sun comes out. And then what do you know? Suddenly, it's too much again. I can't wait for it to get even colder. That way, we can just get nice and cozy. The season of hot drinks. Mouth pops. Might as well. Always so fun to do. Again, I am new to this whole ASMR thing, so if there's anything you'd like to hear, just let me know. If it's not too weird. Yeah, we can do that for you. Man. What was I thinking about before? Oh well. It'll come back eventually. For now, though, I'll be right back. just have to check on something real quick. There we go. I am back. Got myself some water. Stretched out a little bit. Always gotta remember to limber up. My neck did a horrifying pop. But I'm okay. Now there. Sure would be nice to get a nice blanket, snuggle on in. Oh well, we'll do that later. Everyone else, just relax and enjoy. Oh, Elman Course, thank you for that follow. What do I want to do with this channel? That's the question. We'll see. Man. I don't know why. Probably because I haven't eaten today. But I was thinking about the most delicious mango that I ever had. During a trip I was invited to. We had driven down to Mexico, where we stayed at a lovely resort right on the beach. The water was so, like bathwater warm, it felt so good. And after a day of playing in the sun and the sand and the waves, the sun began to set, and there rolled in a little fruit cart, all the way right over to us. So, we ordered some mangoes right off the cart. I did get a weird look though, because normally you're supposed to have it with some tahini or something. But no, I just wanted the fruit. And let me tell you, it was one of the best decisions I had edge of the water. There are few things in life that could even get close to the word perfect. But I can say that that moment right there, the delicious mango, the sound of the waves, the sky with that gorgeous orange hue, that was perfect. I'll never forget that time. I should invest in more things to play with, rather than just my mouth and my hands. I could get something like, some people like slime, right? Squishing it around and just making sounds with it. Book pages are fun too. That might be nice. It all depends on what the people want. I hope that everyone is having a good night tonight. That everyone gets to relax and enjoy their night or morning. It could be morning. After all, it is a big, wide world out there. Who knows? I really like the sounds of rain. The sounds of hail are scary though. Rain can be so gentle and rejuvenating. I don't think there's anything nice about little balls of ice just pelting away. Well, this definitely has been an interesting trial run. I'm not sure if I really want this to be the main thing. I don't know how much it suits me. It is fun though. I am enjoying myself. It's not often I get to be all whispery. That I get to just make sounds like this and fill the time. But it's always good to try new things. We'll see what I learn from this and what towards the next one. Because one of the things is I definitely love to tell stories. Honestly, though, doing it like this reminds me of a time, late nights, with best friends. Everyone else is asleep. All the lights are out. We're still barely awake, just exchanging words and stories. Sorry about that. Had to take care of something. It's funny how often I have to do that. But, yeah, as I was saying, all this whispering just really reminds me of late nights with my best friends. Just whispering stuff to each other. Usually like telling stories and stuff and whatever sort of inane stuff we would talk about back then. Just trying to not wake anybody else up. Not knowing that the walls were paper thin, so it didn't matter anyways. I think one of the important lessons for me to take away from this is to take my time. So often as I'm going through my life, I tend to move at like a mile a minute. Just always go, 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 go. Always have to do something, always have to move quickly and move on to the next thing. Not so here. We're going to take our time. Move real slow. Relax. Enjoy. And just be in the moment. It's been so long since I've done anything like that. Just be. As long as somebody enjoys it, I'll be satisfied. Recently, I've had to start doing something every night before I go to bed. As I lay there trying to fall asleep, I try to think of one positive thing I did in the day to congratulate myself for saying you did this good deed. Some days it feels a little hard to do, but I don't think that's gonna happen tonight. Do it, Kirky, though. Now that is the question now, isn't it? Hello there, Frank, my first follower. Good to see you tonight. How you doing? Hopefully, just relaxing after all the hard work. You excited for the weekend? It's only one day away. I know. I'm excited. I want to sleep in. Maybe. There's always plenty to do. It does feel like a waste after a while. We'll see. Man. So many strange things. What a weird life I've lived. Just vibing out to the sound of the rain. It's quite nice. Just trying to think now of what my favorite ambient sound would be. Ocean waves are pretty nice. Whale sounds are interesting. Campfires, cafes, train sounds. There's a lot of good ones out there. It always depends on the mood, doesn't it? Let's see. All right. I got the map. It's been a long day. Just take it nice and easy. Relax. Relax. Just close your eyes. And have yourself a pleasant time. We'll see what we do next stream. We'll see what I decide to do. I can't say, though, that I'm learning a lot. It's definitely not easy. Not easy at all. The Cookie Meister. Oh man. Albuquerque. That is one odd place. Terrible. Well done. We gotta cook. We gotta cook the dry. And now I get to think about the Weird Al Albuquerque song. Way back when I was just a little bitty boy. The first time I heard that song, I had a friend that burned 2 Weird Al CDs for me to listen to. Good times. Burning discs, sharing music. The time when LimeWire was king. Oh man. I wanna play web fishing. I just wanna be a little guy, fish up some big ol' fish, some big ol' honkers, right out of the water. I have my camper level maxed, so I got the big island. What a good game. There have been a lot of good games that came out recently. That's usually how it is around the end of the year. The back end, we get nice things. From indies to the big ones. I'll be happy as long as the game has fishing. It's such a peaceful time, depending on the game, of course. But just casting your line out into the water, waiting for that one fish to bite, and then you reel them in and do it again. A game of patience. To be alone with your thoughts. Or you have a friend. It's fun to do. Oh, that's interesting. Something popped up and, good news, I guess. Stream Elements is not a virus. So silly. You know, something kind of disappointing happened a little bit ago. I remember something I was very dearly attached to was my iPod Nano. I had so much music on that thing, carried it everywhere. Until one day, it was washed away. The laundromat stole its life away. And I was sad. So I never really had an MP3 player to replace it. So I decided to buy one recently. But it won't let me put music on it. For whatever reason, it just freezes and locks up. Very disappointing. So now I don't know if I should try again, or if I should get a different brand. Who even knows? I could just use my phone. But my phone doesn't have an audio jack. And I think that is jacked up. That's right, it was a setup for the pun. That's what we do here. ASMR puns. No. Maybe. We'll see. Oh boy. takes a while to find when you go one by one. This is going to be very interesting to look back on. Let's see. Be right back. And I am back. I've been having quite a few strange dreams lately. Meeting people I haven't seen in a while. Being lost in strange and mysterious places. Exploring until I find my way and wake up. So many voices. Dreams are, of course, very interesting and strange. Whether it's the kind we experience or the kind that we have. I hope we can all at least try to achieve our dreams. I think that would be very sweet. Relax. Relax. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is fine. are safe here. You worked hard. Now just relax. Just relax. You know, I have no idea what that's gonna sound like on the playback. I have this little ducky next to me. It's very cute, a little light. Very, very squishy. I don't really know what kind of sound it makes though. The popping is fun to do. It is very enjoyable to do. It's like I like to do the mouth pops on a normal daily basis, but just being able to do those for a bit is pretty fun. Just imagine walking into an office, slamming down a manila folder with a little pop. Yeah, that's a lot of fun to do. Well, everyone, this has been an interesting learning experience and a very fun time. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. I hope you have sweet dreams, rest easy, and be able to relax, ready for the next day. Nice and refreshed.